If you saw the last video, I bought this side by side, and I had really no choice of the tires that came on it. So it was either take the worksite tires that were on it or not get one at all. So I bought it like it was, and I actually ordered some bigger ATV type tires for the mud. Now these are a Carlisle tire, and they actually are a 26x11R12. They're radial, and they're 12-inch wheels, and they're actually 1 inch wider and 1 inch taller supposedly than the stock ones. And one of the real reasons I bought these were you see made in the USA on them. So I thought I'd give them a try, and they look like they would be a good tire for the mud. I wasn't too sure about how the size would fit on there and stuff, but looks like it's going to be good. The UPS delivered them first thing this morning, and you can see they're about the same OD, but they're a little bit wider than my other tires that were on there, and they will fit on the wheels that came on the machine. So I just loaded them in the back of the machine, took them down, and swapped out the front tires actually. I did that first, and I took a nap, and now here I am back in the afternoon swapping out the two back tires. Takes a lot out of me to do stuff like this anymore. So, and here's that Harbor Freight jack I bought, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. That thing's really been a good jack, no problems. Still works good. Lift something like this, really easy. And I'm just going to pull off the back tires. Now you can see those worksite tires. They're absolutely no good in the mud. They fill right up, and then they spread mud all over the entire yard. And they actually just slip and get stuck in the mud. So, they've got to go. Don't know what I'll do with them. I'll probably put them on Craigslist because they are quite valuable from what I understand. And there you can see what the back of this RTV looks like. Got little disc brakes all the way around, and fairly substantial suspension there. So I got that wheel off and going over, and this is one of those Harbor Freight tire changers. I know you've seen it in other videos of mine. It's one of the first tools I bought from Harbor Freight probably 25 years ago. I think it cost me $16.99 with a coupon. And this has been the handiest tool ever. I've changed hundreds of tires. I've fixed flats, all kinds of trailer tires, car tires, tractor tires, everything. And it's really been a great thing. I know they cost a lot more now, but if you do change a lot of tires by hand, these are really a good thing to have. You can see just how easy they break the bead to start out with. So I'm just gonna, you gotta break the beads on both sides of them. And these are a little bit wider tire and wheels, so I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble. I'll show you in a second, but nothing major. So it's real easy. I've never had a tire I couldn't break the bead on this thing easily. So it's really, they're really worthwhile if you do have a little corner in your garage to mount them to the floor, because they do have to be bolted down. And then you just have to set it up on the top, and I'm putting the face out because it's got the narrower lip for getting the tire off. And then there's just a hold down that goes on there. Now before I start, I'm going to lube them up, and I don't know, they say you should use stuff called tire lube, but I've been using like a 50-50 Dawn soap and water mix for years, and never had a problem. I don't know what the difference is with the other stuff, and these tires are, they're fairly soft and pliable and stuff, so they do come off real nice and easy. And you can see this machine really does, it does help, and it does, pop them right off. But when you're dealing with something that's a little bit wider like this, it can be a pain. Especially when you're jammed in a corner with it. Anyhow, there's the old tire off. Now this tire had a little bit softer sidewalls and stuff than the other one, so it did come off fairly easy. Now here's a new one, and this is a full 6-ply, and it's a heavy-duty version. For these heavier Kubota sidekicks, you have to go with these heavier-duty tires, just for the load rating. I think these are rated at about 935 pounds or something like that when inflated to 17 psi. You'd have to check the manual, but I know it's they do have a good load rating, and I'm going to put lots of lube on there. And a lot of times the first side you can get on pretty easy, especially when you got a real deep rim and it's stiff like that. And one thing about these is they're directional. So you have to make sure that when you put that wheel on, you've got them going in the right direction. And there you can see that soap really does help with the first side. But the stiffness of the sidewalls and just the stiffness of the bead, plus it's got a extra rubber around the bead to protect the rim for a rim guard on it. So it turned into being a little bit of work with the tire irons. I couldn't just pop it on with that little thing that goes around. I wound up doing a little extra work with the tire irons to get it on, but still wasn't that bad. And if it was a little bit softer tire, I could have popped it right on there. But like to show you that these are quite a stiff tire with a stiff sidewall. So there it is. It's all mounted now. And the tire is definitely wide enough that I don't have to worry about getting in the seal. Put the little valve stem back in and just start to blow it up some. You want to make sure that you don't have your fingers around the bead area where it seats on the tire, because it will get to a point where you get to maybe about 12 pounds of pressure, and then it'll make a big bang as the bead pops out and seats and seals. And I'm just checking the pressure. I'm just putting 15 psi in them for now to start out with. And I like to throw a little bit of extra soap around just to see if I see any bubbles, just in case there could be a bead problem or something. But nope, nothing. Everything's perfect. And boy, these things are heavier than the original ones too. About all I can do to lift them right now. I used to be able to throw stuff around like this like nothing, but so everything's good, and actually all four of them went on, no problem, no leaks, no nothing. So, they all did go good. And I just wanted to compare them to the old tire. Now there's one of the originals with the air and the new one, and it's just about 1.25 inches taller than the old one. So, it's real close to the size that they said. And they fit on with no clearance problems. I know a lot of times, people ask about clearance problems and needing lifts and this, that, and the other thing. But these do bolt right on, no problem. And there's only 4 lugs, and I think it's a 4 and 110 pattern. I'll probably pick up another set of wheels someday if I could find some used and, put the other tires on so I can just swap them out, because they'd be a good tire for a winter with the chains on. And I'm just going to snug these down for now. I got my torque wrench up in the other garage, so I'm just, I'll go up there and torque them down. Alright, so that was a full day job, but it was worth it. And again, when you get done with these things, you always torque them to the manufacturer's spec, and then drive it a couple miles and go back and torque them again. Whether it be a ATV, a trailer, a car, or anything, always double torque them. And there it is. Tires did make a really big difference. They give it a little bit more aggressive look and make it look like it'll go anywhere. So I really think it will now. And they're a little bigger than the stocks, but they're really not oversized. I shouldn't put any strain on any of the components the way I see it. And I think they're going to be really good. I'll get a chance maybe later this week to check them out down in the mud. But for now, I just wanted to kind of show you that, how they fit on there and what they look like when they're on there. And, I'm real happy with them. And taking it for a little ride across the yard. I did notice that when you're going real slow, that there is a little bit of a cogging, bouncing feeling that you feel in the side-by-side that you didn't feel before. But once you get up to speed, no problem, smooths right out. They ride nice, and actually they're better on turns. They don't slip like the other tires did. The other tires would slide sideways for a while, and these seem to dig right in. So looks like at slow speeds it'll be a little bit rough, but after that they'll be good. So I think they're a real good choice for, upgrading this Sidekick. And, there's what the original ones look like, and here's what it looks like now. So, it did give it a nice aggressive look, and, hopefully it'll do better in the mud now, and I'm pretty sure it will. And it's one of those things in the current time, you kind of have to settle for what you can get, and then, make it what you want later. So, this did fix it, and I'm real happy now. Hopefully I'll do some updates in the future about how they do in the mud and, how they clean. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.